Yeah, Arca Edge, we're a fan of access fees and bringing access fees to the marketplace. We really believe that's going to bring more competition. Over the years, you've had other ECNs and ATSs that have been in the space, but this having to include the fee in the quote and not being able to get regulatory guidance on how to include the fee in the quote without violating all these other rules has really put a damper on it. And for the last few years, Arca Edge is the only ECN in the space. There is no other ECN competition, and we would like to see it become more of an order-driven market. Cromwell brings up some good points with the access fees and the gaming. There was that when Reg MS first went into the NASDAQ markets and the market in whole. But at the end of the day, it becomes really hard to do that. I think the market takes care of that. If you're putting it up there just to get the rebate and trying to lock it with another firm, then the other firm that's not charging you an access fee stops taking that flow from you. They aren't going to want to pay that bill either.
And access fees is, at the end of the day, it's a tax on the marketplace that doesn't exist today. These stocks trade very efficiently without access fees. And I mean, as far as why there are not more ECNs or ATSs in the space, maybe the market just isn't big enough for that, for those competitors to be there. I mean, obviously there is such a bigger, broader market that I don't think that the access fee is what's keeping an ATS out of this space. I mean, there's certainly a spot for an agency, an all-agency, model for an ATS who charges its customers, to post quotes and to hit and take these stocks. I'm not sure why Arca hasn't gone that way, or why another ATS or ECN hasn't gone that way. But at the end of the day, I mean, we don't see any value to having access fees in this market. It's just it really hides the true cost to trade, and I'm just not sure why now we would add this fee without putting it in the quote, we can quote in small enough increments that you can show, then you could put this fee in your quote, and if you need to charge this fee, then do it. But it's just I think it's kind of become the standard, obviously, in the NMS world. I think that if the SEC could get rid of access fees, they would have, but it was the standard before NMS came out, and maybe it's something that should be looked at in every marketplace, and maybe it's time for people to charge their customers instead of their competitors again, and that's how it works, in every other industry. I'm not sure why we, when you hit a 10-cent bid, I expect to get 10 cents. I mean, I don't expect to get less than that.
Well, I think that you bring up an interesting point, Matt, because in the NMS world, exchanges had fees to access them. ECNs had fees to access them, and in the OTC market, the reason that Pink, that what was Pink Sheets was not an interdealer broker, not an ECN, is all of the market participants would trade directly with each other, net, and it's very rare in an OTC market or an exchange market for dealers to be willing to trade directly with dealers. And that's a unique market structure, which I don't think anybody would disagree with. And you've seen in the options space, it's about, and I'm not exactly perfect on the numbers, but I think it's about 20% is in the ECN model of volume, is of maker-taker on the side versus, and when access fees came along, the exchanges and all the ECNs charged access fees, some type of access fee. So it kind of had to stay there, and the SEC said it's going to be de minimis. And you've got this marketplace where nobody, with the exception of ECNs, charge access fees, and ECNs don't charge access fees to non-subscribers right now. And is that change warranted to move the market structure to a place where is definitely, as more limit order display takes part, you'll see more agency type brokerage. It will just appear. And does the agency brokerage come because of access fees, or does it come because limit orders get more displayed? And is there, access fees are part of a business model, a very valid business model, and there may compete back and forth between these between non-access fee model and access fee model, but is there a need to force it on the whole space? When really what you want to do is improve the opportunity of electronic agency brokers to compete in the space, and more limit orders will drive that.
Obviously, in the comment letters over the years, last few years, there's been a lot of commentary about you know, a definitive decision being made in terms of market structure, and you know, I guess what we would hope we go back to and our rule filings make clear is that we're, for better or worse, access fees are part of the SEC's understanding of how you get paid for collecting liquidity, and to the extent, you know, broker-dealers, whether they're agency broker-dealers or proprietary broker-dealers, have a right to exist in a space that, you know, our perception is that that's where they want us to rule make.